Hey everyone, so I'm Shelby and today we're talking about Guy Fawkes Day. So this is surrounding events that happened in 1604 to 1605 and the reason why we celebrate Guy Fawkes today. So in 1604 in May, Robert Catesby had booked rooms adjacent to the House of the Lords, and this was when they started their plot towards the assassination of King James the First of England, and so that they can bring forward Queen Elizabeth I to take his place on the throne, who at the time was 9 years old. And this plot also included multiple other people. I'll just read them out from my piece of paper here. Thomas Winter, Robert Winter, John Wright, Christopher Wright, Robert Keyes, Sir Thomas Percy, Lord John Grant, Sir Ambrose Rokewood, Sir Everard Digby, Sir Francis Tresham, Thomas Bates, who was Catesby's servant at the time, and also Guido Fawkes, who was the explosives expert. So Robert Catesby had confessed the plot to his priest, who had then told one of his colleagues about the plans that he had heard about, and his name was Father Henry Garnet, who at the time was the principal Jesuit of England. Not sure if I pronounced that word correctly. I'll write it in the comments and you can check it out later. The plot to assassinate King James had continuously been delayed, mostly because Black Plague back in those days was rife everywhere, and so it continued to delay their plans of when they're going to do it. So because of that, the opening of Parliament was put off until 3rd of October, and then at that stage they had found out that the lease of the rooms below Parliament were leased out to someone else. So they got in touch with that person, whose name was Thomas Percy, and they started storing all the gunpowder underneath, like in barrels, underneath Parliament in those storerooms. So at that time, everything was in storage, and they had all decided that they were going to go on holiday for a while and come back in September. But however, opening of Parliament had been delayed again, and so they kept on replanning their plot to assassinate the king. Sir Francis Tresham was hired to finance the whole idea, the plot and everything. But what he did that was made this whole idea get shot to shit, basically. He wrote a letter to his brother-in-law, Lord Monteagle. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll write it down in the comments as well. Just to warn him not to be in Parliament by any means, to stay away, without saying there's a bomb or gonna be a bomb set off. He basically, and pretty dragged out words, had said, don't be there, something's going to happen. His brother-in-law forwarded it on to Robert Cecil, the first Earl of Sainsbury, who passed it on, and then a whole lot of armed men went through Parliament to search everything out, and they found all the gunpowder. On the 5th of November, a party of armed men had found 20 barrels of gunpowder in those bottom rooms beneath Parliament, and found Guy Fawkes looking after them, manning the stash, to say. Since then, Fawkes and the rest of them were all captured and tortured. Only one that didn't die the same death as the rest was Catesby. He ran away and got shot trying to get away from police. All the others were hanged, They all pled guilty except for Sir Everard Digby. He didn't change his plea from innocent to guilty. He stayed saying that he was innocent of all charges. Didn't change anything though. They still hung him, and they left them at. They were all hanged, drawn, and quartered. Even the priest that took the confession got executed as well. His execution was held on 3rd of May 1606 because he had heard all of their confessions and didn't do anything about it, to tell government that this is what was going on. To this day, every single year they open government, they have team search the whole property just to ensure that there's no threat to safety. And every single year on the 5th of November we always get we have Guy Fawkes Day, technically to celebrate the fact that the plot didn't go through, but it's one time of the year that your family can come together and have a beautiful display of colours. Also, fun fact, Guy Fawkes is the only one that evaded being drawn and quartered alive, because he jumped from the gallows and ended up breaking his neck. So, guts for him. Backstory, the reason they were so against the king is because this group of people were Catholic, and the king was anti-Catholicism, and they basically just, I guess, wanted freedom of speech. But the queen that was 9 years old, that was going to take the king's place, they believed that she would be a lot less staunch with ruling with religion over the people. Anyway, that's me for now. If you have any ideas of who you want me to talk on next, feel free to drop a comment, like it, subscribe, send a message, whatever, and I'll note it down and we'll get on to that. Have a good one. Stay safe.